Okay, so we're going to start today. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure that this is recording. And for reference, I've received a letter from Idea Public Schools. This is Miss Christina Reyna stating that I'm using their copyright and trademark information when they don't even have their idea and trademark on the copyright federal website or registered. So I would appreciate, in all honesty, that their professionality and their harassment stop. This presentation, as I mentioned before, is a true story and something that has happened to me and perhaps others. Now, Idea Public Schools, this is your employer discriminatory practices. And this particular presentation is dedicated to Yanira A. Aguilar, a former principal in residence at Idea Quest, my former mentor. And here are the keys to your house, Yanni. As we continue, like I said, and I mentioned before, before anybody can claim any sort of information like trademark or copyright information, it actually has to go through a legal process, including copyright information. Mine is in process. All right, let's continue. Discrimination at Idea Public Schools. First, I'm going to start off with the law. And a school district, open enrollment, charter school, shared services, and arrangements can refuse to hire somebody on these bases only. This is on the Texas Education Code. If convicted. None of it states, if anything else. The only word here and keyword is on this picture, convicted. This is the factual testimony of myself, Christina Reyna, a former teacher at Idea Public Schools, UTPA, STC, Sherryland ISD, Harmony Public Schools, Alice ISD, a leukemia survivor, published photographer, former vice president, an IEEE, a lawyer who's won about 17 cases pro se, 6-year experienced teacher combined with program services, certified now Texas teacher, 14-year experienced manager, and so on and so forth, as you saw. I'm going to start off with some legal jargon and definitions, and these are provided by West, Oxford, and the Department of Labor on their websites and books, however you like. And discrimination is the failure to treat all personas equally, where there is no reasonable distinction found between those that are favored and those that are not. This is also a case in Plessy versus Ferguson and Baker versus California. And then segregation, the acts of process of separation, meaning taking apart. It is unconstitutional. It is part of discrimination to have segregation within school districts, the federal law, the Civil Rights Act. Employer discrimination, actions of employer discrimination are as follows. In year 2014, by Idea Public Schools to Ms. Reyna. 2016, by Idea Public Schools to Ms. Reyna. 2017 to 2019, by Idea Public Schools, their representatives and or affiliates to Ms. Reyna. 2020 to present day to Ms. Reyna by Idea Public Schools. In the background of this particular slide, you can see that a lot of the information is more geared toward the El Paso Fellows. Hello, Idea. Ms. Reyna was an El Paso Fellow and even on your roster list. So if this not segregation to begin with, and separation, discrimination started, and these are the years of 2017 to 2019 in several counts. Proof of the original email, authentic email, and from their servers, again, is in the back. For reference, we have a website, the Department of Labor, the EEOC.gov. There's also the U.S. Department of Education for reference, and law. Evidence from 2014 to 2016 are as follows. Let me first state that Idea Public Schools is an educational institution. It is charter. It is also considered a nonprofit corporation. They must follow and regulate all TEA standards here in the state of Texas. They're not an exemption to the law made by congressmen in the state of Texas, legislation regulated by TEA, the Board of Education, or any other federal laws in the U.S. Constitution, including our Bills of Rights. IDEA's location's first headquarters was on Angelito Drive 505, and then now rebuilt recently at 2015 West Pike. As you see to the right are all the emails where they first stated that Miss Reyna, this was around 2014, 2016, was discriminated against because of a record, not convicted as required by law, a record that they made her actually provide with a seal, which was illegal against her Fifth Amendment right, an infringement of her Fifth Amendment right, not so much illegal, but it is an infringement. This was from 2014 to 2016. Their practices continued, and the individual who let Miss Reyna know everything was Miss Gomez. Email 1. That was sent to you in error. I apologize. I spoke to my director, and you're not eligible to hire. After after Christina Reyna had already subbed for Sherryland ISD. Met all qualifications on IDEA public website. They ask for following expunged records in the email that you see spinning with seal, and continued discrimination practices by IDEA public schools. And these pictures were favored were the teachers and leaders from El Paso and the El Paso region in pay when it came to benefits, in training, and even in event gatherings and launching of the El Paso region. My question here is, as we provide in this yellow part, they're here at Top Golf, and this was in a gathering for the El Paso region. And do you see Miss Reyna in any of these pictures? When they first started in 2017, here are El Paso fellows with Carly. Here are El Paso fellows, leaders, directors. And then you have the Raptor team with the center there, and Miss Shasta. And the Raptor team, do you see Miss Reyna? Then you have fellowships, El Paso teacher fellowships as labeled above. Do you see Miss Reyna? Then you have training. Do you see Miss Reyna? You have Raptors in training. Do you see Miss Reyna? And even while during her fellowship, the evidence is there on the trophy. Do you see Miss Reyna? Where is Miss Reyna's name on that trophy? For record, if she was the teacher of record at the time. So it is evident that favored were everyone else except Miss Reyna. Segregated and separated, again, was Miss Reyna. On more than one count. Here, training. You see Miss Reyna's ID of Rio Vista, and at the top of her ID tag, you see the Rio Vista team along others in training. Do you see Miss Reyna? Then you have Miss Reyna again as an El Paso fellow. Do you see Miss Reyna in the actual paid event that they had for training, or invited to the training event where she paid alone in this roster here? Now, evidence is original. It's coming directly off their servers in emails that are offline and available for viewing. Do you see Miss Reyna in any of those trainings? Again, segregation, separation, discrimination. Recently, Miss Reyna again went to El Paso because she was told she had a job in El Paso, quote. And she doesn't have a job in El Paso. That was false. Current 2019 to present day discriminations and retaliation, where Miss Reyna has applied for several teacher positions and when she is overqualified. But as they testified, we, IDEA Public Schools, did it intentionally. Testified to the state, testified to Texas workforce, the officials and the judge in her unemployment hearing, and testified by their executive director at the time, Mr. Ernesto Cantu, who, hey, separates by region because, hey, she's not from El Paso, and in El Paso, she didn't have a job. So Idea Public Schools, isn't there a team and family at this charter school? Isn't there whatever it takes? And wasn't it 100% every day? Or wait, no excuses at this charter school? So what is the excuse now? Not to have this civilly taken care of. Here are some other current day discriminations and preferences and favors by Idea Public Schools that they are preferring people that are certified when their actual employee handbook does not require it. Then here is an actual employee from Idea Public Schools or former employee of Idea Public Schools admitting that Idea Public Schools hired people without posting their positions. And as you can see here, the phone number that is tied to their T-Mobile account and an Idea Public Schools cell phone, where they actually admit that they're hiring without giving equal opportunity to applicants and employees or employer applicants. This is jurisdictional and venue to the correct division. This for reference is just, hey, while I myself, Miss Christina Reyna, was at Idea El Paso region, this was a team we sweated the small stuff with. Now, in this background, I want to first tell you that we are teachers. There were several people in we. And in this particular picture, we were teacher fellows. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 teacher fellows from that year that are now credible witnesses to a federal case of discrimination, not only against their employees or employee practices, but also against students. For your complaint against Idea Public Schools, make your complaint with the Board of Education. SBEC, the EEOC, your local education agency, make a civil or report or complaint. In these pictures, we also have as testimony that Ms. Reyna wasn't paid her bonuses from Idea Public Schools. In this for testimony, you also see that, hey, Idea is still currently hiring and they haven't resolved this. Then Idea here in 2019, you have Ms. Reyna at actual headquarters trying to take care of this with headquarters of Idea Public Schools. So in reference to the letter that I got from their staff attorney, this is protected by my First Amendment, since it is true, there is more than enough evidence to support every single claim of employer discrimination practices committed by Idea Public Schools when it comes to me, myself, and I, Miss Christina Reyna, a U.S. citizen.